Segment 3, Gold and Black Live, and with Dr. Tim Ratliff and Evan Boudreaux. And Evan Boudreaux needs no introduction to our audience. Neither does Dr. Ratliff as well. He's been on our show many times. And the talk today is really about something extremely important to Dr. Ratliff and to Evan and to myself, and that is cancer research at Purdue University, the Purdue Center for Cancer Research. Of course, tomorrow, when you're in Ross-Age Stadium or watching the game on TV, it's Hammer Down Cancer Day in Ross-Age Stadium, and Purdue takes on Wisconsin at 3:00. And I'll start with you, Dr. Ratliff. And Tim, it's an important message, even though the Center for Cancer Research at Purdue is one of the great research centers in this country. But also, still, even after all these years of doing this, we got to remind folks that the Hammer Down Cancer is really driven by the Center for Cancer Research at Purdue and what that means. But talk about, because you've been so involved over the years, of why this is important and why this day, and from a recognition standpoint, is really important for the center.
Well, it's important for a number of reasons. I mean, we want people to really appreciate the impact that our center's having. We want them to have confidence that we're developing new treatments. I mean, we're saving lives every day. The death rate's going down in this disease, and it's going down really because we're able to develop new therapies. And we want people to really appreciate that fact. And, you never can touch enough lives. We want people to know that we're available to help move things forward and to help them find the right physician for treatment and things like that. So it's an important time.
Yeah, no question. Evan, obviously you're in your family, your dad's fought and thrived in a challenge with cancer. So, and we always talk about how cancer impacts literally everybody. Everybody is touched by it. Talk about that in terms of your motivation to being involved, not only as a student athlete, but now as a member of the Directors Advisory Board, and your desire to really help make a difference with the Purdue Center for Cancer Research.
Yeah, I think I think for me especially, and I think for a lot of people, right? Everyone sees that cancer's out there and the impacts that it has, but you don't really understand it fully until it's touched someone in your life. And so for me, obviously, that was my dad a few years back, and it really hit home to me. I had to watch him go through surgeries and complications afterwards, and luckily everything's okay now, and he's healthy and happy and everything. But it does take a toll on your family and everything that you do. And so it's kind of like a mindset shift, right? Like before you're a different person after you've been through stuff like that. Even if it's not you necessarily, even if it's just your family. And I think a lot of people kind of resonate with that. And that's why I think it was so great. I was so honored to be able to be a member of the Purdue Cancer Center Advancement Board. As a student, when I was at Purdue, it was great to be able to be on campus and spread the word and do all that. And now we've grown the student portion of our board to have a really good presence on campus. And you look around, we've got fraternity initiatives, we've got a bunch of different things kind of working, and it's awesome to see the way that's grown and all the lives that we're impacting with our work.
Evan, I want to come back to you because you've obviously had the I guess in some ways you have the privilege of going to two different schools, going to Dartmouth and graduating, coming to Purdue. But this whole student thing, and you have done a great job of getting that off the ground and moving it forward, probably doesn't come as a surprise to you in terms of passionate students. You played basketball in front of the paint crew, and it's an unbelievable environment and a really unique student body in terms of passion for getting involved with things that it believes in. I mean, is that a fair summation of what you're seeing, even though you only were on campus for a couple of years at Purdue, but or 2 to 3 years, but it's been pretty impressive.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I think one of the hallmarks of being associated with Purdue is the pride and the enthusiasm that Purdue alumni and Purdue fans have. And so, we've got, so much interest and so much, student effort that's going into it now, and on top of, I mean, obviously it pales in comparison to the scientists and the people who are doing
Yeah.
some of the work behind the scenes, right? But you look at how many people wanted to get involved, and it really spoke to me because we did like a freshman orientation event, and we had over 100 freshmen who said that they'd be interested in carrying on our message, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that really just speaks to, like I said, how many people it's touched, and once people understand the work the center does, I think it's a really easy sign on for support and carrying the mission forward.
Yes, and I think that's been a unique situation. It's only going to grow. And Tim, as your role as the Robert Wallace Director of the Purdue Center for Cancer Research, you are retiring as of June 30th, and you're as close to an institution as you're ever going to find in terms of all the things you've done in your role there. Going back, you're going to retire to more research, which is what you are known for as well. But talk about that and just the what it takes to do this and to raise money, but also raise awareness at a Center for Cancer Research with no medical school, which Purdue is pretty unique in that environment. Talk about that a little bit in terms of how that plays and some of the challenges, but also some of the ways that the center is so integrated with the rest of the university.
Well, and thanks for your kind comments. I'm looking forward to, stepping down and turning the reins over to a new person. I've been here 15 years, and I think it's a wonderful job. It's the best job I think I've ever had. And, much like Evan, I came into cancer research because my dad died of malignant melanoma. And then within 6 months, my father-in-law died of prostate cancer. So I totally understand, what that can mean to your life. And I've really focused on cancer research for that reason. But, running the center is so much more. You do your research. I've continued to do that all along, but it's also, positioning the center to grow. It's integrating it across the campus, is bringing in more researchers. We have researchers from 17 different departments to help us fight this disease. And all that expertise really helps the process, pulling all this different knowledge together to address a problem and helping them by supporting their ideas. And that's what philanthropy is all about, is bringing in money. We don't store money. We pass money through back to the scientists to help them, make more discoveries. So it's been a fantastic job. In many ways, I do hate to leave it, but I think it's time for some transition and bring in some new thoughts and, move the center to even higher levels.
Yeah, all consuming. I mean, the effort that you put in it all these years and moved it to an extremely high level. COVID made it huge. And I'll come back to you, Tim, just has made it tough, in the last year plus from a fundraising standpoint, but still some important work is being done, not only there, but with your team to be able to, again, you can't stop for that. There's a lot of things that not only in your role with COVID, but also with cancer research that really made a difference over the last 18 months in the most difficult of times.
Yeah, it shut us down for several months, and we were able to kind of maintain activity in the lab under very strict conditions, but really didn't get back to full throttle there for a number of months. So it slowed things down, but our people work really hard, and they're making those gains. We've got 2 drugs that are sitting before the FDA. They're reviewing the data now. We anticipate approval of those, and they'll be available for everybody pretty soon, we hope. So we're excited about that. We're making progress.
Yeah,
in spite of COVID, I might add.
I was going to say, you guys did an amazing work from that. And this is a football and basketball show, so I'm going to start with you, Evan. Obviously, the Boilermakers take on Wisconsin tomorrow. I'm not asking you for a scouting report, but about games that are pivotal games that can change a season. We saw one last week when the Boilermakers went to Iowa. I know that, Tim, that was your old stomping grounds, but a great win for Purdue there. But talk about that in terms of just making, teams that kind of evolve and have an opportunity, obviously Saturday against Wisconsin, do something big if they can get the job done on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting, first of all, right? I mean, I think,
Yeah.
There's so much energy around the football program right now. It's so exciting to be a part of it. I think one thing is momentum is a real thing. And
Yeah.
especially in the sport of football, like, getting that big win last week is awesome, but you really got to be able to carry it over and build off that momentum this week, right? And I think the whole community is really excited. I think we're excited to go out there and watch them, beat a Wisconsin team that is looking a little vulnerable, knock on wood. So
it's time.
It should be time, right? It should
be.
Right.
14 straight, right? So, yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to be around the team right now.
Yeah. Tim, obviously the role of football, Jeff Brom's been very supportive of the center, has not only been involved with the center for the Purdue Challenge over the years, but also, we've had good support over the years from our football coaches and Daryl Hazel, Danny Hope, and the athletic department. Talk about that relationship that the center has had with athletics. And again, we and I'll speak for everyone here, we want people to leave Ross-Age Stadium not only with the Purdue victory, but also to remember that Hammer Down Cancer is about research at Purdue and the Center for Cancer Research. But Tim, talk about that relationship and how that's evolved over the years and how that's become really, really important. Not only did Jeff Brom and others support it, but that they can help bring awareness. Tyler Trent, obviously the great tie that and how Tyler was such an important part of supporting the Center for Cancer Research. But it's all been part of making a difference in the long term.
Yeah, it has. I mean, we have a great relationship with athletics. They have really supported us. Jeff Brom is our spokesperson for the 5K challenge every year. He comes out there, he's with us, comes to dinners, afterwards where we treat the volunteers who have really helped us. So he's really engaged and really helping us, as all the coaches are. I mean, the women's volleyball team had a Hammer Down Cancer game and they auctioned off their jerseys, and it was a really exciting time, So it's all of athletics. And when they come out for the 5K walk run, it's tremendous to take the run. Many of the players on all the teams are out there helping.
Right.
And we finished the race or walk on the football field. And all the athletes are out there talking to all the participants. And it's really just a wonderful time to get to know people on a little more personal level and not just see them play. Of course, we love seeing them play and looking forward to the victory tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, Evan, I can't let you go without asking about a little Purdue basketball, ranked, I think, 7th in the early preseason poll. And having been around Coach Matt Painter and that culture there, that doesn't mean anything to them. They know they've got work to do, but there is a lot of talent on this team, maybe unprecedented levels. Give us your view of what you see and what we may see this year, and maybe what that key ingredient will be for them to get to the level, to get to the level of expectations, because it will take a team probably blending together to get that done.
Yeah, well, I think first, you look at our team and you've got a lot of really good older guys, right? So
yeah,
not just the freshmen who are coming in, but you've got guys who played at a high level for 2, 3, 4 years even. And this COVID year kind of made it a little weird where guys, they can do that in college basketball now. So I think across the landscape, you're going to see a lot better basketball. I think you're going to see a lot of really good teams. I think it's going to be hard for teams to match up with Purdue. I think top to bottom, there's so many different mismatches and ways you can play guys that is going to be a nightmare for coaches to figure out. I think the coaching staff, and Coach Painter, one of the things he does best is he keeps everybody focused at all times, right? And It's easy to say we're 7th in the country, and that's great, but like we don't play the tournament right now. We don't play that in November.
Yeah.
Right? Like we don't. That doesn't really matter. You don't win the Big Ten in November, right?
Yeah.
So I think for the team, it's just going to be, figuring out their identity. All these guys, for the most part, have played together, and the guys who haven't, obviously, are incredibly talented. So it's a really exciting time to be a Boilermaker basketball fan, especially. I'm going to find a way to get down to Mackey for some games this year because I know it's going to be packed. But I can't wait to watch them play. So.
Yeah, and you still want to do the Men of Mackey if you could. That still is obviously you played this past summer. That had to be a lot of fun, and I know Purdue fans loved watching you and Rob Hummel, and it just and again also a Center for Cancer Research tie to that whole event as well.
Yeah, that was super fun. Our manager Ryan Kay does such a great job putting it on.
He does a great job. Yeah,
he's incredible, and then all the Purdue guys that came and they were. I hadn't met a lot of them. I had met some like Rob and Lou Jack and those guys, but top to bottom, everyone was committed to playing together, and everyone was great guys. So that it was a lot of fun. We'll see what happens. I have a real job now, so I have to actually. I would have to take time off, which is a new thing for me. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes next year. Maybe I'll come back as a coach if I can't get on the court. So who knows?
And tell folks what your new day job is. So what are you doing?
So I'm working at Deloitte as a consultant now. So I'm in Chicago, so I'm close by, and I finally caved in, got a real world job. So.
Yeah, work is tough, my friend. And Deloitte will get. Maybe someday you'll be out traveling around the country with a lot of what a lot of the Deloitte folks do. And you can't. I don't think they can have a better person than you to represent them. Tim, last word here. Obviously you're not. We haven't seen the last of you by any stretch, but this is the importance of all this and the passion that goes behind. Not only the Purdue Center for Cancer Research, but the Purdue family. That I think is one of the best things about this entire our ability to help is to be a part of something that's a lot bigger than all of us. And I think you've done such a great job of that. But that's kind of part of the story, is looking at something that's really bigger than all of us and trying to find a way to make it work.
That is very true. We all work together, and we're, what is the saying? The sum is greater than the parts. So
yeah,
that's really what happens when we get together and generate very strong collaborative interactions that result in discoveries that otherwise would not be made. So that's really exciting. And I guess the last thing I'll say is that, unless you ask me another question, that is.
No, this is it.
The last thing would be
boiler
up for tomorrow, because it's going to be an exciting game. And after last week, we anticipate a victory.
Yeah, good football weather tomorrow in Ross-Ade Stadium, and it should be a fun day. Maybe low scoring, but Purdue owes Wisconsin about 14 games, so this is going to be good. But I think they'd just be happy to get the one and move on. This is could be a very special season if Purdue can get through tomorrow. That's for sure. So, gentlemen, thanks so much for your time, and always a privilege to talk to you guys and what you mean to the Center for Cancer Research, but also to Purdue athletics. We appreciate that. Want to also thank our sponsors. They're going to have an Evan Boudreaux sandwich at Triple X before long. You never know. But we want to thank Triple X on the hill, but on the level of Purdue tradition since 1929. State Farm agent Trent Johnson at trentismyagent.com. And, of course, Hilton Garden. I want to thank, too, the folks at WLFI, Gordon Jackson and company, for making this work. This is why we like to do this show, because we talk about different things than just sports and things that are really more important than sports, and we appreciate that too. So guys, have a great rest of the weekend, and let's hope for a fun day tomorrow, and we'll look forward to talking down the road before long.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.